Hello guys, again welcome back to another session. So what we will do today is we are going to do some revision and we will look into the more chapters of the constitutional bodies. Okay, so here we are seeing the constitutional bodies. I have already told one, two is covered here. UPSC, SPSC, and Election Commission we will revise, and Finance Commission, GST Council, along with that SC, ST, BC, National Commission. On these things we will be covering. And for the rest of the chapters, which is of 5, 6, and 7, we will do the next date. Okay, so we will learn how to revise also and how to concisely read the things. So first thing first, when I am saying about the election commission, 324 is the article. Okay, now next thing is the central and the state election commission. Okay, so what were the work of the central and state election commission, where president, vice president, parliament election by center, and panchayat municipality by the state. Now there are composition also. There are three of the people like chief election commissioner and two of the ECs are where the three of the people is been forming this EC. Now the tenure will be 6 years, 65 years. You don't know about this. Now there is also reappointment. Obviously not possible because there is a kind of safeguard, right? That is the transparency will be given. These are there. And then if I am talking about the salary, which is similar to that of Supreme Court judge, CEC, EC, they are having the similar kind of salaries. Okay, now when I am talking about the revision thing, we will see only short things. Like here you can see here the CEC, CEO, DRO, RO. These are the hierarchy that has been given, right? Previously also we have talked about Supreme Court where 2.50 lakhs per month judge salary, and the Delimation Commission 4 times. This is has to be read, right? Now going on to the next section, which is UPSC. Here 315 article to 323 article part 40, that is very important. Now how we will recall this 315 to 323 is very important. I have read and write it here. You will do the same also. 315 where the composition of PSC, 316 is appointment, 317 is removal, right? 318 now 318 is where we will be seeing that power, right? The power is given to UPSC, that is where 318 is been coming. Now 319 where the prohibition for that of such kind of appointments, or if there are prohibition for their employees or other things, that is the power of prohibition of 319. Then we are going to 320 where the function will be given. 321 is increasing of the power, 322 is expenses, 323 is the report. So that is the small points we are going to remember, and whenever it is asked we will do this in a bit, right? Now thereafter reappointment is not possible for the UPSC chair, but for SPSC members and UPSC members they can be reappointed to UPSC. Okay, now thereafter there will be a removal and the appointment of the members, which is obviously done by that of president. So now what are we going to talk about is the removal. Obviously I have talked about the misbehavior, and along with that there is incapacity, paid unemployment, unfitness. So these are there, and appointment obviously both of them is by president, but when I'm talking about misbehavior, this president will be redressing to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court decision will be binding here for that of any misbehavior. Okay, for SPSC if I am talking here, there are two of the things I will be talking about. One is appointment and removal. So you will recall here who are appointing and who is removing. You have to recall this whenever you are reading, and you will tell me who is this persons. These are two different persons. If you can remember, I think you will. Now there is functions is where we will be seeing the examination. Then there is pecuniary losses, pecuniary losses if there are any. So UPSC will be giving their the financial help also. There are different kind of functions we have talked about. And if that to be said here, transferring of A, B, C group people are also to be seen, but for C and D group people or the C or D group services, UPSC will not be responsible. Now thereafter there is CBC, another body we have already seen, which is having the similar kind of job, right? Similar kind of work is being said. So we can say that it is a competitor of UPSC in any of the work being said. So there will be obviously a kind of situational error in some of the cases. UPSC similarity is to be remembered here. Okay, so that being that, and we have already revised all of these things, not to be much talked about. Here you can see the services. I haven't talked there much about it, like the censure and withholding of this increment, promotion, pecuniary loss. You can see here. So these are almost some of the things. Okay, so that to be said here, UPSC is covered. SPSC also will be similar kind of things. Yeah, here limitation. There is another limitation when I am saying this 14 days. I have this thing that I go into the numbers, and whenever I found the numbers I remember this again and again. So you can also do this thing. This is not much important, but when I am saying the president is having some kind of these issues with the parliament, so then at that time the removal will be given this 14 days time limitation to take the decision up. And so that was there, nothing much to see. I have already told all of these things again and again. Reading this won't help. Now next thing what we'll be going on to is SPSC. Okay, so again 315 to 323 is the section. Again you can see the appointment by governor, and the removal is only by president. That I have already told you to remember. And here one half of the members are here associated with the commission, where the can we say their qualification, etc., will be needed. I have already told that previously, not much needed in this session. So going forward for the finance commission, here, yes, here you can see that 1919 and 1926, two of the things has come up. 1919, where the Government of India Act PSC has been formed, and 1926, where we have talked about this federal service that has come up. Okay, we have already talked about that thing, not much needed. Now finance commission, if I am saying finance commission is 280, right? That is the article. Now we will start making our notes here. Article 280 is the first criteria we will remember about the finance commission. It's also said that quasi judicial, we can also write that up. Then there is president having this 5 years time period for the FC that has been given. That will also be given here. See, I am writing 5-year term. This is how you will also make your notes, right? It will be much crisper, and whenever you are going for the next round, you can have a better understanding about this. So president appoint this. Another point we got here is president appointment. Now next thing, here we'll be seeing about the composition. Now what are this composition? How many people are there here? Chairman with 4 of them will be in this finance commission. So that's why we will see the composition here. I have already made a note for you. Now there are other qualifications also given for the chairman. If that to be said, he will be a person who have expertise in public affairs. For 4 others, they have to be having knowledge about finance, other things. So let's make a note about that also. And reappointment, yes, reappointment can be done. That I have already written. Reappointment is possible by the president again. Okay, so if I am saying president in appointing and reappointing, so he has a huge power. So he can also specify the period. If I am saying that president says that you are not going to be here for 5 years but for 3 years, that is also possible. Okay, now going on to the next thing, where the qualification, I have already talked about these qualifications. There is public affairs, another one is, here you can see the financial matters, economics and the finance, right? This we will make the notes here also. Yeah, not much to talk about. Let's go and make our note. So this is our qualification, where we will make this thing in 2 parts, one for the chair and another for that of the members. So, who has been given the judge or the finance expertise is for that of the members, finance or economics expertise, whatever it is, for the members. Four members they has been given. Plus, when I am saying about chairperson, where the public affairs has to be his expertise field that has been mentioned for the qualification. Okay, I have already talked about this. Next thing, going on to the functions, pretty much it. Distribution of the proceeds, then there is grants are there, whatever the grants to the center states, these are the given center to states, these are there. And then there is the consolidated fund of the state also, where the grants are given to the panchayat and municipality. Previous to that of 1992 and 1993 amendment, where the municipality and the panchayat came up, these grants was not properly given from the states to municipality. That's why this finance commission take a look about them. So taxation, how there will be the, you can say that how they will distribute this tax, that is there also. And here I have already said municipality and panchayat to state issues are there. Okay. So not much to talk about. Now what we will do here, yes, 1960, another you can make a note if someone doesn't know about this. 1960 was a export duty concession was given because we had our um, independence and we had our partition. At that time Bangladesh was producing maximum of the jute and we had most of the industries left, and this Assam, Bihar, Bengal, West Bengal was very much deprived of economy because of this jute, because at the time jute dependent agriculture was there. That's why a kind of subsidy was given. Now if we are talking about function, I have already talked previously. I am just making the notes here so that you can understand it better and can recall whenever it's needed. If you want to do that in the same time when I am making these notes, you can also do the same. So what are these tax proceeds? Division, distribution will be there. Then there will be grants from the center to the states, as center always grant. You are seeing that budget is coming. Budget is coming today, that is 23rd of July of 2024, and where it is said that center will be giving much of the proceeds to Bihar and Andhra Pradesh this time. So that is where we can see that finance commission has a kind of recommendation in that thing. Okay, so that to be said, municipality panchayati raj we have already covered. What we will see here is the advisory nature, not binding thing. The finance commission is not giving any of the binding kind of thing. Legal rights are not given to finance commission, but still it is given as a quasi judicial body. Why is that? Recommendation should not be turned down by the government. There is binding, that is not binding, but still government cannot say that we are not going to take finance commission seriously. Now second thing, fiscal federalism is also another thing they maintain, where the equilibrium between the center state and the center's power is balanced. Now we are going to check a little bit of this finance commission shares. The main important names have to be seen. I am ticking all of them, but you don't need to remember all of them. The first one is very important, KC Niyogi. Second one, like if you will see here, it's our Santhanam committee, obviously that's important. Raja Mannar fourth committee, we will look into that. Then Rangarajan committee, NK Singh, obviously he is the current chair, so that's why it will be important. Yeah, do remember recommendation of the finance commission, which is 281. Okay, along with that we are seeing that another act is there, 1961. It is very important. If something nearby comes, you have to just remember that act is of 1961. Now let's go back to our page of this and the points we have made. So what we will do is quasi judicial. Why is it called quasi judicial? Sometimes and many times it come into question. So we will just say that quasi judicial means recommendation cannot be turned down by the government. They cannot say that as finance commission is not binding, we won't listen to finance commission. This cannot be said, so that is very important. Okay, now let's get back to our function. Yeah, function is another thing. Presidential wish. If president is making the body, so he can have a special kind of wishes for the finance commission also. This is another thing. Okay, and I have written the other also, you have seen. Now let's get to the next chapter, which is goods and service tax council. Very much well known 101st amendment act. This has come up, and basically of to this sorry, yeah, this is 2016 act. Sorry, I just uh, wrote it somehow 19 2016 act. What happened, article 279A article that has been inserted by the amendment, and the president has constituted this GST council by his order in 2016 itself. Okay, so why do you need this GST council? GST means goods and the services taxes new regime. That is where the indirect tax is going under the only one tax, right? One tax regime where the sales services tax, service tax, and other kind of the indirect taxes will not be taken by the state government, but it will be taken by only the central government, and then the proceed will be given to the state, right? Now I am making some of the notes here. HQ is New Delhi, which I have already made. You can just have this kind of note, it will be helping you. And president is having this GST council formation, again like that of finance commission, it is also making this GST council. Then there is secretary of finance commission is getting a place in this GST council. Okay, he become the GST council secretary itself, like ex officio. So that is also another thing. Now talk about this Ministry of Revenue. Ministry of Revenue comes under Ministry of Finance. Okay, finance have this, Ministry of Finance have 6 of the departments, where Ministry of Revenue is one department, and Ministry of Revenue secretary comes as a GST council secretary also. Okay, so we will talk about the chair also. Chair. Now we are going for vision of the council. Vision is very much known cooperative federalism, that is where state and the center is having equilibrium. Wider consultation means state can have its power even the center is collecting all the taxes. This is where the wider consultation states are also included. So here we will see the chairperson, finance minister, very important. And then we will see the minister of the charge or revenue of the finance is also another member. Then from the state is taken as minister in charge of finance or taxation can be taken. Okay, one person per state, that is where the vice chair will be formed. Now this will be also in our note. Chair, we will write that minister of finance, that is very important, that finance ministry is having its role as a chair. And then there will be states also, right? States coming as minister in charge of finance or any taxation, any kind of that kind of ministry where the revenue is associated with. Ministry can that kind of minister can be associated. Along with that, what we will see, part state we are having only one vice chairperson, right? Now that is almost all of our composition thing what we will be seeing. This is a vice chairperson. Okay, okay, now let's go to the state thing. Okay, another thing I forgot to write about this state. These state ministers, whoever will be formed, that is one per state that will be associated. Okay, now that is where we are almost finished with this composition. Okay, another finance, revenue, and other that has been also mentioned, I have just read and made it. Now what is the kind of decision making power? Okay, so that is where we will talk about invitee. Yes, invitee is also another CBEC. So that is our excise department. They will be also been another kind of invitee here. kind of new laws and regulation how they will be needed, or they how they have been making Central Board of Excise and Customs, they will be associated. Now that to be said, we will see about the working of the council, how a work of the council is made. There is some kind of talks are taken place, wider consultations, then there will be a quorum needed. Quorum means the people who are needed to conduct the total sessions, the people, the maximum of these people, that is half of the total members that has been said. Okay, now there is some of the decision making will be taken by the majority of the members. Why this is majority of the members? That is not less than 3/4. Okay, why is that majority needed? Because center and the state is needed, and 3/4 present and voting. Okay, so 3/4 is very important because center and the state is taking part. So that is where the state's power should be told, and center having its power, there should be a balance, federalism that has to be maintained. That's why we are seeing this. Okay, present and voting. Okay, now next thing we will talk about is the central government. Central government is having 1/3 of its weightage. This is the weightage. Okay, and for the state it is given 2/3 of the weightage in any kind of decision. Along with this 1/3 and 2/3, we will make 3/4. Okay, here I will also write this. Center is having 1/3, where state is having its 2/3, and this is where the majority will come. Inside this majority, remember this. Okay, the data have to be remembered very properly. Don't make this the here and there, then these are gone. Okay, so okay, we have almost seen this. Here vacancy if arise, if there is any defect of appointment, or if there is any irregularity, these are not the solution, or not cannot be the reasons of saying this GST council is invalid. Okay, so that's why I have also taken them out. Here we will just make that particular note of quorum, and that 1/3, 2/3 for center and state, and then majority of the people that will be associated. Not much of the things you will be remembering, but the crisp things you will remember. You will read and read and read and revise. So that's why I'm making this crisp note, so that you can also have the same kind of things. And oops, sorry, here actually my laptop got switched off. It did not have charges. So what we will see here, here center and the state is having this kind of majority. Okay, so that's done. We are almost finished with our note making, and you can see it is a very good process. And let's get back to it. 101st Amendment 2016, 279A, President is forming this, headquarters is New Delhi. And then this total thing of the composition is also there. Along with that, there is quorum mentioned. Chair will be Ministry of Finance. Then there is one state, one person per state will be also there, along with the CBSE having the invitee. Quorum is half, which I have already mentioned. Decision making by the majority 3/4. That is almost it. Now get back to the second session of this is almost done. Revise whenever it's needed from this section, also from the previous section. Go back and again see for that of PPSC what we have read. So whenever there is reading, the revising things are very much important here. Now the function of the council, it's very easy. What they will do and discuss about the taxation. So any kind of taxation is needed, interstate trade if that has to be taken, or any kind of limiting of the turnover on the GST, whatever the goods are having different kind of threshold, like online gaming is having 28% of its taxes. These are to be seen. Floor rates, special rates if there is needed, when it's calamity, there is any surcharges to be given, cess to be taken for the road tax. So these are there, some of the things. Special provisions are there respect to Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Jammu and Kashmir, Manipur, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Sikkim. So these are 7 sisters, along with some of the and some of the mountainous regions. Okay, now other functions, if that to say, other function is where the disputes are there in between the states. There is some of the adjudication needed to be done. Center state disputes, if that to be taken in, also they will be seen. Some levying on the petroleum and crude is very important. That is not been done under GST. and this is almost what we have talked about the a dispute. Then there will be some compensation is where the loss of the revenue has happened, like the COVID. All know that fact de jure was said, and then some of the compensation has been given for 5 years. Now talking about the National Commission of SC. Okay, so starting again with that, our SC and CSC, National Commission of SCSC, NCSC and CST. So previously these two were a joint body, and this was under Article 338. Okay, so where we will see that 338 is having joint, and then how did these bodies got separated by year after year, and after some of the resolutions came up, some amendments came up, that is how this got differentiated. Okay, so here we can see that Article 338 is here, that to say that ST first thing was there special officer for SC, and then for ST that was made in 338. Then what happened in 1978 was the first bifurcation of the resolution happened, where the multi-member commission was made. Then 1987 again commission was renamed as the National Commission of SC and ST. Now again in 1990, what are we getting? 65th amendment, where the multi-member National Commission of SC ST is having a special officer for SC ST. Now that was not again proper. Again the amendment of 89th of 2003 came up, and the bifurcation happened of 338 and 338A. So we will write here as the 89th amendment is very important, so this has to be written as of 2003, and when this 338 and 338A is coming, so the SC and the ST will be also differentiated. 338A means NCST, right? Okay, now that to be said here, SC is a formation. Now we are talking about SC here. So when 338 this came up, 2004 is where the formation of the National Commission of Scheduled Caste happened. Okay, so that being said, and 338 where the ST came up, this was the formation again of 2004. This is the same time when the bifurcation came up. Now if that to be said, what is the composition? Chairman plus vice chairman plus 3 others for NCST, similar to that of NCSC and NCST. Both of them are similar. Now who is appointing them? This is appointed by president. Now next thing to talk about the report. Report is not much needed. President is given the report by that of NCSC, then that report is given to the parliament, right? This is a channeling of report here SC to that of president, and from that of president you will get it to parliament. Okay, so this is almost there. Now what about the powers is like a civil court, that is very important. Investigation, if any kind of wrong things is done to the SCs, then there will be investigation, summoning for attendance, then there will be discovery of any kind of documents needed, evidences, public records, issuing, summoning any person, that can be done as a court. Okay, so that's why it is called as a civil court. Central government, state government, if I am saying, both of them can consult this NCSC if needed for their major policies, how that policies has to be made, how the implementation need to be there. These are there. Now again, if talking about the Anglo-Indian communities, they are also coming under this NCSC, and there is also 2018, obviously till 2018 said, but OBC is also were under this NCSC. Previously this OBC was under this NCSC. So both of these things, Anglo-Indian and OBC, was under NCSC. 2018 is where the breaking of this OBC happened by 102nd Amendment Act of 2018, which can be said. Okay, so that is where I will write here. Anglo is associated to NCSC and OBC also, but till 2018. Remember this. Now then there is 338 article. A 338 article is to be remembered again, and this is where OBC has been taken out by 2018. That's why I have told that. Okay, this is almost all of the functions I have said. Now if that to be said, part 16, part 16 is where we are seeing article 330 is associated. That's why we have to read that. Now then there is ST. NCST is by 338A. Previously we have also seen that by 86th, right? Sorry, 89th Amendment Act of 2003, right? Now previously there was 65th Amendment Act of 1990 which was not properly working. That's why this 89th amendment happened. But in between, what happened in 1999, Ministry of Tribal Affairs were given for that of ST, not that of Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment. Now again, another thing to talk about, Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment is in charge of NCSC. There is a scheduled caste is given the charge for social justice and empowerment, but for tribes it is given to Ministry of Tribal Affairs, because there is a different kind of works by the tribal ministry. That's why we need to remember also. Again, the composition is same, C plus BC plus 3 other, that is by 2004 has been given. Okay, let's go to the next section now. Okay, so functions of the commission. Function is almost similar. Oh yeah, I forgot that 89th amendment to write. 89th amendment of 2003, this is here, which has been indicating. Now the functions is almost similar. What is that? You will see that there is investigation, monitoring, and if anything is wrong to the STs, then complaining, planning, procedures, whatever the plans are needed for the tribes to improve, then presenting a report to president, which will be given back to parliament. Okay, it's almost similar here. Everything, measures, whatever needed to uplift these these tribal classes is also said. Other functions is very important, which the tribal ministry see or look into. That is a minor forest produce, their livelihood. That is very important. How these tribes live. So that is where the minor forest produce will come into. Where the culture preservation is very important. They need a kind of area to live for their own. So that's why culture preservation, mineral resources, water, their own kind of water to be preserved, then relief, rehabilitation if needed, preventing the alienation, a Santhal tribe. If I am talking about these Andaman tribes, they cannot come in light even today, because they are alienated to an island, they are alienated to a part. We need the cooperation of these tribes for the afforestation. That is where the forest will come. And PESA 1996 is very important, where the panchayat has also included here scheduled areas that can be made, and that is here the full implementation will be taken under this NCST here. Okay, panchayats that has to be included, that will be seen by NCST. So these are almost all. And here tribal afforestation I was previously also saying. So these are the preservation of the forest is very important, because tribes are related to the forest very much. Now talking about the report is again similar. President will be given the report by NCSC, and this report will be given from the president to parliament. Now if I am talking about the power of the commission is again similar to that of the civil court, where they can safeguard, they can have summoning and enforcing of any person whoever they need. Then they can also have this document discovery, evidences if they need any public court. These are there. Now talking about NCBC, that is a backward classes. Okay, this is where we will see the Mandal case of 1992, which is where the 50% ceiling of breaching, or 50% ceiling for that of OBC, that has been given. Breach cannot be done. That is here. Statutory body, it is a statutory body. Why is a statutory body? Because it is made by an act. That's why this is a statutory body. Here the creamy layer will be taken out. So inclusion, that will be also seen here. You can see that inclusion of the backward classes under inclusion, that will be also seen under these acts. And then formation 338B is the article where 102nd Amendment Act of 2018 has formed. Okay, Previously, what happened here in CBC of 1993, that was including this OBC, but from that of 102nd Amendment Act of 2008, this 338B has formed for the OBCs as a different commission. Okay, so composition is still similar, chairperson plus vice chairperson and three other member. Okay, I may sometimes refer these chairpersons as chairman, so do look into that and do remember as you want to. These are almost all the formation, and yes, president will be having their tenure and then their appointment also. These are kind of formation will be also done by that of president. So these are there almost all the things that need to be remembered. These we have already talked previously, so these are almost similar thing. Function is very much well known. Monitoring of the backward classes, how they need to grow, their rights has to be safeguarded, their advices for the economic development, if any. President will be given the report. Again, president will form that before the parliament. Okay, and if there is some kind of recommendation and implementation needed for the policies, that will be also given. Protection, welfare of this, these are there. Now there is to be said here report. Another report can be given to the state government. President also forwards any report of the commission pertaining to the state government. Why? Because state needs to improve their condition. That's why state will then give this to the state legislature and they will discuss into it. So that is how we make a flowchart. NCBC, backward classes to president, president to parliament. One report can go to state, that is state are forming this in legislature and they will discuss onto it. That is how our reports are being solved and issued. Okay, and that's almost all our things about the note making. This is how you will do. Now the powers again is similar to the civil code. I have already said summoning, then there will be discovery of the documents, any evidences, affidavits, public records, summoning of witnesses. These are all similar. The small notes have to see that Indra Sawani vs Union of India 1992, which is the Mandal case, right? Mandal Commission case. This has to be remembered, very important. Along with that, there is 50% ceiling, obviously I have already told. Then there is our backward classes was still 1993 under SC, NCSC, and now under 102nd amendment of 2018 it is coming out of it, coming out of NCSC, right? Now there is 342A, that is the inclusion that is very important. 342A has been included, and that will be seeing that the president to determine the BCs in a particular state, if that has to be seen. So that's why we need to remember this 342A inclusion by 102nd Amendment Act. Special request officers will be done the next day, and I hope you have read this, revise and revise again and again. We will be having some questions round also if needed. I will be making some question papers and will be giving it in shorts. Till then, take care and bye.